Record. We are recording. I'm so excited for you guys to be here. I know there was a ton of babes that want to watch this and are going to watch the recording and are just busy on a Thursday night. I know that for me, I was probably working on a typical Thursday night before I started coaching, but I just want to say thank you guys so much for jumping on. I'm really excited to share tonight, and I know it's just a few of us, which makes me feel pretty excited. But please, if you have any questions, just post them in the chat or we'll have an FAQ at the end. So quick little just like overview of what we're going to go over tonight. I am just going to start with a little introduction, go through my story of how I actually got started with coaching, and then also talk about how I worked, how I built my business while I was going to school and working 2 jobs, because I know that that is a lot of people are working multiple jobs because that's just like my tribe, and those are the people that I attract. And then I'm also going to talk about obviously how we earn as coaches and how my income has progressed over the last 3.5 years. I can't believe it's been that long already, but I'm really excited. So if you guys have any questions along the way, please let me know and I will go over those. But I'm going to jump right in and get started with, first of all, so I know a lot of people have either heard of Beachbody, or maybe you haven't heard of it, or maybe you've heard some crazy things about it. I don't know. So wherever you're at on that, I did want to give a little introduction on what Beachbody actually is and how it got started. So about 20 years ago, we just had like our 20th anniversary thing. 20 years ago, our CEO, he created all of these home fitness programs. So maybe you've heard of like Tony Horton. He's like the super buff, like older guy that did a bunch of at-home fitness programs. And what they really realized is that the people that were getting the best results with the programs had these support messages online. So they were like these group messages that people would go to, and those were the people who were getting the best results from these programs. So the CEO, Carl Daikeler, he's like really cool. I got to shake his hand when I walked on stage this year, which is awesome. But he was like, okay, well, if these people are getting the best results and people are already like supporting them along the way, what if we could create a business opportunity out of this and allow these people to be compensated and build a business along the way just by doing what they're already doing, by supporting others along their own health and fitness journey. So that's how the coaching business came about, and I'm so grateful for it because I know that it's completely transformed my life, and I'll share a little bit more about that. But obviously, I was a little skeptical. I know so many people are a little skeptical just because network marketing is new and we're growing in it's almost 2020, and the internet and social media is just where things are at now, and it's like completely foreign to our parents and the older generations because it's new. But I was skeptical, but when you really learn that it's all about coaching came about because it's all about helping other people, that's what really sets our company apart. And our company, like, I wish I could like describe it, but it's more so like once you become a part of it, the community aspect of it is just like insane. And I was telling Paige earlier, like, and a couple girls on my team, like, this community, and without all my girls, like, I would not have friends, which is like so sad, but it's so true. Like, I literally have met my best friends through this. So it's really just about truly changing lives and changing our own life first, which is amazing. So I did want to mention that you absolutely do not have to be some kind of like fitness pro or health guru. We do have some like personal trainers on Team Excelsior and some like doctors or nutritionists, but you absolutely do not need that. It's not like a qualification to coach or anything. It's really cool because Beachbody does all of the work for us. So they have the certified nutritionist, they have the professional personal trainers, like literally the top in the world. I'm so excited about the new program coming out because the trainer that is doing it is actually an NBA trainer, and I watch a lot of basketball, so I'm really excited about that. But essentially, we are just kind of like the middlemen that help people get set up with the same exact tools that we got started with. So we give them access to all of the different nutrition programs and workout programs, and then we give them support along the way. So that's really essentially what we do as a coach. And I always like to say, like, you don't have to know everything to coach. Like, you learn through experience in this business. And that's like the beauty of it, is every single day you're growing and you're learning, and you already know more about this than the person before you. So if you get started on your journey, you already know more about getting started than the person who hasn't yet. And that's what's so awesome about coaching, is you just grow with the business. So I'm going to jump right into my story, and I'm going to try and keep this under like 10 minutes, but I know I can get a little carried away just because I get super passionate, and there's a lot of parts to it. You know, I started this business 3.5 years ago. It's almost 4 years in November, I think, or the end of October, which just blows my mind. But I started this business when I was 18 years old, and it was my first semester of college. And in my first semester, I had moved from my tiny ass town in New York, and I had moved to Columbia, South Carolina to go to school. And I instantly just jumped into 2 jobs. So I was paying for everything on my own. And so I got a job at the library, and I started math tutoring, and my plate was freaking full. I came in as a sophomore, so like my workload was already really heavy, and I quickly became burnout. Everybody else, that like my roommates were coming in as freshmen, like having all this fun and like doing all these fun things, and I was like, how do you guys have time for this? Because I am literally just at work, or I'm at school, or I'm sleeping, and I was barely sleeping, to say the least. So my plate was freaking full, and I just really lost myself and became completely burnt out. I was very much an emotional eater, and when I would have a test, or when I would be stressed, or maybe I would have a good day, I just reached for food at all times of the day. And I always like to share this part of my story because I feel like it's just like, it's so powerful even when I say it now. Is my first ever goal that I remember writing down on my whiteboard that I had as I walked out of my dorm room every day. It said, only one dessert a day, Mad. Like, that was my first goal. So wherever you're starting from, like, know that we all have to start somewhere. And that was my very first like goal coming into this, which is hilarious now that I like think about it, but it's so true. So I really lost myself in that first semester of school. I was just working a lot. I was not sleeping. I was eating away every kind of feeling that I had. And I remember looking in the mirror and just being like, I don't know who this girl is. Like, I don't know how I got here. And I just like looked in the mirror and was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, something has to change. I was an athlete growing up. I was super busy all of the time. I played soccer. I was in track. I was pretty healthy throughout school. But I definitely like struggled with anxiety, and my doctors were always wanting to put me on medicine because I had a lot of stomach issues due to anxiety and was like in and out of the doctor's office. And I just basically told them, no, like, I'm going to figure this out by myself. So that day when I looked in the mirror, I was like, something has to change. So I would say probably a couple days, maybe it was a week later, I was scrolling on my Facebook like we mostly do, and I was sitting in bed. I remember it so freaking vividly. I was scrolling on Facebook, sitting in my bed, eating a bag of M&Ms, and I saw this picture, this transformation picture of a girl that lived near my hometown, and it was just like a 3-week transformation picture, but she looked awesome. And it like wasn't even really like the physical so much. She just like looked happier, and I craved that so bad. And so I messaged her immediately, and I was like, girl, whatever you're doing, like, I want in. Like, what are you doing? So she told me exactly what she was doing. She had just started a Beachbody program, and she was really falling in love with it, but I didn't exactly have the money at the time. So I tried going to the gym. Like I said, I was an athlete in school, so I thought maybe, you know, I would know what to do when I got to the gym. I didn't. I would just get on the treadmill and try and run, and I would make myself miserable. I hate running. And I also just tried like counting calories, and it just did not work, because anytime I would get upset, I would still reach for that food. I had a really unhealthy relationship with food. So a couple weeks later, I started saving my money. I stopped going to Target. I stopped going to Starbucks, and I saved my money, and I messaged her, and I was like, I'm ready to get started. Like, sign me up. So she told me that if I signed up as a discount coach, I would save 25% on my products or whatever. I was like, okay, I have no idea what that means, but like, seriously, sign me up, because I'm broke, and I just like, I need to do this. So I got started, and I started my first program. It was 21 Day Fix. Maybe you've heard of it before. But I started it, I did it in my bedroom, in my dorm room, in my like 3-foot space, but it was awesome because I hated going to the gym. I had like really bad gym anxiety, and it also fit my schedule. So it was 30-minute workouts every day, and I just like craved that. So like it actually just gave me that energy. It gave me some kind of life back. And literally after the first week or so and started drinking my superfoods every day, I just like felt like a different human being. I started sleeping better. My energy was like 100 times what it was before. And my anxiety, like, honestly, was not half as bad. Like, I was an anxious wreck all of the time. And so for me to just feel like I had control over something, and something that like relieved that and gave me myself back, I was completely all about it. And I fell in love. And so I just started sharing on social media. Like, I had no idea what coaching was, but I started sharing my journey on social media mostly because it held me accountable. And I knew that if I shared with other people, that like I was going to have to show up for myself, and I was never going to be able to give up, because I just like had in my head, like, other people are watching, so I have to keep going. And it worked. And so I actually started having people like reach out to me, and like people were noticing. And that's how I really kind of started to get interested in coaching, but I didn't really like go all in with it. So long story short, I ended up moving back to New York from South Carolina and went to a different school, came in as a transfer. I had my own house that I was renting, and I jumped right into another serving job. I served all my life growing up, and so that was just like my comfort zone, was serving, because you can make easy money quick. But I quickly became burnt out. This place was like the worst place ever that I ever worked. My managers were horrible. Like, they had no respect for my time. I came in and asked them to work 20 hours a week. I was on the schedule for 40, and I was also going to school, and just like I was completely burnt out. And I told this story on my stories this morning about, I remember walking into that job that first day, and I had a black t-shirt on because that's what they told me like was the dress code. And they pulled me aside and were like, you have to, go home, and tomorrow when you come into work, you have to have a long sleeve shirt, a long sleeve black shirt, because I have a tattoo on my arm. It's a very positive tattoo. It says, "Celebrate we will, for life is short but sweet for certain." It's a Dave Matthews quote, and it's in my mom's handwriting. So like, it's really special to me. And I just remember that so vividly because I had to cover it up for this job. And I just like, I never wanted to feel that again. So today I wore my Beyonce shirt, and she's, oh, nice choice. And she's flipping everybody off. And that just like makes me feel powerful that I'm at this point now where I can wear what I want to work. So that was kind of like a little side story. But with the serving job, they told me that I was going to have to pick. So my family lived in New Mexico. I was in New York, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to see my family for the holidays. And they said, okay, well, you have to choose to work either on Thanksgiving or Christmas. You can't have both of them off. I said, okay, fuck that. And I put my 2 weeks in, and I was like, I'm not doing this. I can't do this, like, this is just taking my entire life away. And it was just like draining me to the max. So I put my 2 weeks in, and like I said, I was paying my own rent. I was paying all my own bills. My rent was like $1,000 a month. I had a whole house to myself, and utilities and everything. And so I put my 2 weeks in, and my back was up against the wall. So at this time, I remember watching my coach, and she had just quit her full-time teaching job to do this like coaching thing on the side. And I was like, okay, what is she doing? And she had just went on this trip to Punta Cana, and I was like, all right, so like there has to be something to this coaching thing. And I messaged her, and I was like, okay, like what do I have to do? Like, what does it take? And I need to make money to pay my rent. Like, I need money to buy food and survive. And so I went all in. Like, I really just like went balls to the wall, and was like, I have to make this work. And I fell in love with it. I started helping one person, and then I would help another person, and then those people would help people, and it just like started to grow from there. And as I was going through school, so I know Livy's like, you should tell this part of your story, man. So I graduated valedictorian in my high school, and I was like that girl who was like following what you should do, the certain path, go to college, get your degree, get a good 9-to-5 job. Like, that was the path I thought I was supposed to be on. And So I did that. I went to school. I graduated in 2.5 years, but I did not love it. I did not love what I was studying. I have a degree in environmental science. I actually do love environmental science, but it's not something I could ever see myself like waking up and doing every single day, just because I had no freedom. And for me, I'm like a huge traveler. I'm a huge gypsy. I love to just be able to pick up and go whenever I want. And a 9 to 5 job, you can't do that because you have a boss and you have to like ask for time off. So I really wanted the freedom to choose after I graduated school to not have to get a job. Like I wanted that choice. So I made that my goal. And like I said, I graduated early, so I only had about a year and a half to make that happen, but I did it. And so I got out of school and I just went all in with this business, was just doing it full time. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about my income progression, but I wanted to share how I actually fit this in while I was going to school, because obviously my schedule was still crazy. I was still working another job on top of school at that time. So I always show up for me first. That is the number one thing. If you are going to be successful in this business, that is the number one thing you can do every single day. That is the only thing that fills our cup enough to be able to give to others, to be able to serve others. And so every single day I would wake up. So before coaching, I was that person who would wake up at the very last alarm, roll out of bed, throw on my sweatpants and my sweatshirt, and run to class, and looked like a freaking mess. After I started coaching, obviously things had to change a little because I needed to start taking care of myself and I needed to find some time to actually work my business and show up for it. So I started waking up early. I started waking up at like 5:36 in the morning and getting my workout in so that I could like fuel my actual self and like feel good when I woke up in the morning. And then I would have a commute to work every single day, and I would listen to my like just podcasts or audiobooks. Instead of like listening to music, I would switch it and listen to something that just like uplifted me on the way to work. And then back in the day when coaching first started for me, like we had to post multiple times a day. Don't have to do that anymore, which is nice. But I would post as soon as I got into work. So I'd sit down at my desk, and before my boss even got there, I'd get there a little bit early. I would get some coaching work done. I would post. And then when I would go to my class, so I would go work, class, and in between that time, so I had probably 10, 15 minutes in between those two things, I would get on my social media just like any person going to school or any normal human being in today's society would do, and start connecting with people and finding new people to really relate with on social media. And I made the promise to myself that like while I was at school, I was going to be at school. So during my classes, my phone was away. I was at school because I was paying for it. And so I would show up to my classes and I would be completely present. And I did the same thing with work. So when I was at work, I was at work. But that in between time, that 10, 15 minutes in between work and class, and then class and my second job, I was on my phone like anybody else would be, but I was being intentional with that time. So I really used those pockets of time when I was going to school and working to build my business, and that's what allowed me to not have to get a job after school. But I know everybody, when coaches come into this, they're always so nervous to like invite others to come on this journey with us. But that's the number one thing that builds this business, is giving this gift to other people. And you have to understand that this is a gift. Like I would not be sitting in this chair on a Thursday night. I would not be able to pay my rent. I would not have been able to take 2 weeks to go visit my best friend and my dad in New York. Like I would not have been able to do any of those things if I didn't have coaching, if my coach had never, given me this opportunity. And so every time I hear somebody say that they're like nervous to do that, you have to understand that it is such a freaking gift that has the capability of changing somebody's entire freaking world. And that is like the gift that we have as a coach. So I did want to say that like I probably built my business, and while I was going to school, like I said, I was working, I was in a lot of classes. Like I built my business in about 1 hour a day. So maybe it was 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, added up to about an hour a day that I was working my business. And it was just that switch from mindlessly scrolling on social media to being intentional with that time. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about my income. So our income in this business is completely based upon the work that we put in. So it is dependent upon each coach's work, their effort, their diligence, their own like skill. And that's what's really cool about this business. Like, it's such a freaking blessing, because if we want to make money, we work hard and we make that money, instead of like a boss telling us how much we're worth every week. We get to decide that, which is amazing and such a freaking blessing, and that I'm forever grateful for. But when I first started this business, I had no intentions. Like I said, I just started posting on social media. I had no intentions of actually building a business. So I just started sharing. And then once I realized that, okay, if I help a couple people get started on their journeys, that pays for my own products every single month. And I was like, okay, well, I kind of see how this works. Help a couple people get my own products paid for, and then whatever else I make, I started to pay for my gas, started to pay for my groceries. And then as I got a little bit more, helped more people, I started to pay for my electric bill. I started to pay for my water bill. And like I said, then it paid for my rent. And then once I graduated college and just traveled for an entire year, it paid for my plane tickets. It paid for my gas money. It paid for all of the food I ate along the way. And now, in this past year, I have quadrupled my income, which is so crazy to say out loud, but it's true. And that's what, like I said, it's all up to how hard you want to work and how much you want to put into this. That's how much you're going to make out of this, which is amazing. And I'm so freaking grateful. But I do want to talk a little bit about how we actually earn. So how do we actually make money? So when I got started 3.5 years ago on my journey, when my coach sent me, my package and everything, it was $140. So I paid for DVDs that I got in the mail, 21 Day Fix DVDs, and Shakeology, which is my superfoods that I have been drinking for every day for 3.5 years, because they are literally a game changer. They helped so much with my stomach issues, and my energy, just like literally everything. So I have not stopped, and I will never stop. I'll literally drink them every day until I'm gone. But I paid $140 for my workout program and my Shakeology. And we call this a challenge pack. So when I got started, my coach made an initial commission off from that. So as coaches, we make 25% commission on everything that we help people get started with. So essentially, that's usually anywhere from like $50 to $80 when you help somebody get started. And then when I fell in love with my journey and I wanted to help other people, I started helping other people get started on their journeys. And then when they fall in love with their journeys, I'm like, okay, like, you're falling in love with this. You are having amazing results. Like, why don't you share your passion and your love and pass this gift on to somebody else? And so they become a coach, and that coach passes it on this gift on to somebody else. And that's how the second way we earn, which is called Team Cycle Bonus. And this essentially is just when we help coaches get started and they help other people get started, all of that volume from their orders starts accumulating. And then we make an income based upon that. So for me, I was extremely grateful for this, because for the past 2 weeks, I took a vacation home, and I really didn't do a whole lot with my business. But because my team is kicking ass, I still made a pretty fucking solid paycheck, and I was really, really grateful for that. But yeah, I mean, those are the two ways we earn, and that's kind of like how my income has progressed over the 3.5 years. And I do want to say, like I said, I did not come into this looking to build a business. I didn't come into this and was like, I'm going to make 6 figures this year. No, like, I was more of a gradual, like, income earner, and just built as I went. And while I was in school, I just spent that time. But there's people who come into this and go all in from the freaking start and do go after that 6 figures in a year, which is amazing. And I'm on my way to that very soon. And so it's just really cool that whatever work you want to put in, that's what you're going to get out of this business. So if you're looking to just make a little bit, if you love your full-time job, that's freaking awesome. Like, you can just do this on the side to, like I said, pay for your gas or groceries. Or maybe you are like a huge dreamer who wants that freedom to be your own boss. That's very much me. That's very much a lot of girls on my team, because we love traveling, we love seeing each other, we like taking trips. And so we go for that. We work hard. We treat this like a full-time job, because when you treat it like a full-time job, you get paid like a full-time job. So it's really just like that simple. I didn't start making this income just by helping everybody get started on their health journey. Like I said, it was me helping one of my girls. It was me helping my best friend get started on her health journey, and then her passing that gift on to other people. And it's just this snowball effect of people helping people, people changing lives. And I just stuck with it. I just kept freaking going, and now it's here where it's like my full-time income. I'm making more than a lot of like teachers. Like, it's so crazy. I never imagined that I would ever do this, but here I am. And this business is so freaking simple. If you get one thing out of this, like, it's that this business is so freaking simple. You show up for yourself, you get results, you pour into your own journey, and you show others what they're capable of through your own journey and invite them to come along with you. That is literally all we do as coaches. And you're just here forever. I'm going to be here forever. I always tell my girls, I have some right here actually, because I drank some before the call, but I always tell my girls, you're going to have to pour sunshine on my grave, because it's my all natural pre-workout, but for real, like, it is my lifeline and I will be here forever. So whenever you're ready, like, I'm going to be here, because this has just changed my life in every single way. And I always want to pass that gift on to others. So take a quick deep breath. I am going to go over a couple of like questions that I normally get. If you guys have any questions that you can think of, you can post them in the chat and I'll try and go over them. But the first one is people being really scared to like sell or share or like post on social media. And here's the thing. I love using this analogy because it's so freaking true, is you are already selling. So if you went out to your favorite, I like to use vegan ice cream or taco place, and you post about it on your social media, you are selling that place. Like, you are talking about something that you already love and sharing it with people and getting that business more business. So for me, like, Beachbody has completely changed every single freaking aspect of my life. It literally saved my life. And I think about that with every single one of my girls, because we've been in the deepest, darkest places, and this has literally gotten us out of that and, you know, saved our lives. And so I'm going to fucking share that like wildfire, because it is that important. It's not just tacos. It's not just vegan ice cream, but like, it's literally changed my life. So hell yeah, I'm going to share that aspect of my life. The next thing is like just being scared about starting. And the thing is, or like not knowing if it's for you. The worst case scenario with getting started as a coach or getting started on your journey is you literally get into the best shape of your life and you make friends. You make kick-ass friends. I'm telling you, I got Team Excelsior written on me forever for a reason, because our team is fucking amazing and like literally the best humans, the best like just biggest hearts and like sweetest souls that you will ever meet. And I mean that because it's so fucking true. Like, you're going to get into the best shape of your life and you're going to make a lot of friends. That's the worst case scenario. And if you decide it's not for you, okay, it's not for you. That's okay. But I did want to talk a little bit about what you get when you get started. So when you get started, when you jump into coaching, as your coach, I'm going to get you started, like I said, with a fitness and a nutrition program, and either Shakeology or like our pre and post workout, because you have to be proof of the product. You have to fall in love with your own journey first in order to be a successful coach. So when you get started, you not only just get like your own products and programs to get started with, but you also get a getting started right training from me, which just teaches you exactly how to do this business. It teaches you what you need to do every single day and how to do it, and it's so freaking simple. But then you also get access to our team calls. So you probably seen me post on my stories, like every Sunday night I have a team call with my girls, and this is really just like a training. You get access to my team page, which is where you can ask questions, and you also get just one-on-one mentorship with me. And so there is no shortage of support when you get started. You have literally all of the support in the world from the most amazing people, and all of the training you need to just build a successful business, whatever that means for you, whatever you crave out of this. We're going to work to make that happen, because I'm here not to make my dreams come true. Like, I'm here to help you, whatever your dreams are. So if you guys have any questions, please post them in the chat. But I think that that is everything. I think the only last question that I get a lot is like, okay, what is the investment when I get started? The only investment to get started as a coach is your own product. So your own challenge pack is what we call it. And it's $160 right now. So that includes your month of Shakeology. And then you get access for the whole entire year to what is called Beachbody On Demand. It's kind of like the Netflix of workouts. It's every single workout program Beachbody has ever come out with, along with the nutrition programs. And you get access to the private app, accountability app, and me, and the getting started right training and all of that. So that is $160, and you get access to it for the whole entire year, and you're starting a business. I invested $140 3.5 years ago to get started on my own journey, and I've built am on my way to building a 6-figure income because I invested $140, which is just mind-blowing because so many people nowadays, like, there's so many entrepreneurs out there that just spend like tens of thousands of dollars and never see a profit, but you can literally see a profit. We're going to work on you seeing a profit within your first week as a coach. So in order for you to make back that initial investment. But I think that is literally everything that I could think of, all of the questions I normally get. Do you guys have any that you thought of along the way? I know we only got a couple minutes left. But I'm so freaking grateful that you guys popped on. I'm so thankful, and I'm really excited for all of you guys watching the recording. So the only thing I have left to say is I will shoot you guys an email after I finish the call with a little form to fill out, and we will get you started with whatever package is right for you. But like, let's freaking do this thing. Literally, we've all been exactly where you are, you know, like that nervousness, that fear, that like you don't know if this is going to be right for you. Every single coach has that getting started day. Every single coach had to just fight that fear and do it anyway, because it is literally, it's the best decision I ever made for myself in my life, because I would not be the person I am today, and I would not, you know, have the friends or the life that I live today without this opportunity. So I hope that this helped. I hope that this answered all of your questions. And of course, if you have any other questions along the way, reach out to me. I am so freaking excited for you guys and everybody getting started. And Team Excelsior, we're going to the top. We're going to the top. We're in the top 500 right now of the entire network out of like 400,000 other teams, which is fucking bomb. And we're reaching after a huge goal this year that only like 200 coaches in the whole network reach, and we are on our way to hitting that, and it's like so freaking exciting. It's so crazy when I think about like little Mad from Dundee, New York, this little tiny town, graduated with 69 people, is now building a successful online business and is an entrepreneur. Like, pretty cool, and I'm so excited to help you guys do the same. So that is all. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hopping on, and I will talk to you soon.